Hello, everybody. My name is M.A. Lumdia, and I want to welcome y'all to Create Your Nice Day podcast. It's my purpose to teach the art of celebration, and I try to do that each week by helping you prepare for the journey of a lifetime, by teaching you that life is really just one daily adventure after another. This week, our topic is going to be domestic abuse, otherwise known as love. But before we get into that, I want to give you an update on the distribution of the Spiritual Scavenger Hunt cards. Last week, I only got out a whopping 14 cards, but that does bring our total to 436. And that averages out to over 50 a week, and I'm pleased with that. I haven't seen any pictures come in, though, so come on, people. I have a Disney gift card burning through my wallet, and if you give me enough time, I just might spend that sucker myself. I mean, I am a Christian woman, but I am only human. So please, send me some pictures so I can send you a $25 Disney gift card, and that you can spend on all those after the holiday sales. On Disney Shop. Have you ever been on Shop Disney? Oh my God, it's amazing. Okay, now part of the reason I'm going through all the trouble of making the cards and putting them on mailboxes and in doorways and handing them to strangers is to get traffic on this YouTube channel. The more traffic, the more opportunities the video gets. So right here, right now, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And thanks in advance for your help. And the truth is, I don't really care if you watch this video and it helps you. But what I do care about is getting this video out to people that it might help. Do you understand what I mean? And I think that you can subscribe and root for me. So I'm just trying to help if I can. Okay, now that all that stuff's out of the way for the week, let's get down to what we are here to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about domestic abuse. And notice that I called it domestic abuse and not domestic violence. But a lot of people think domestic violence whenever they hear the words domestic abuse. And I'm not really sure exactly why that is, but I want to talk about domestic abuse. So maybe we should start with the word abuse. Abuse is way more than just punching somebody in the face or slapping them or pushing them down. Abuse can be emotional, it can be spiritual, it can be mental, it can be physical. It's something that deforms you. And if you really want to know what abuse is, all you have to do is look at the survivors of it. And if you want to recover from abuse, the first step to finding the path out is trying to think of it as going from victim to victor. And how Joyce Myers puts it is saying you can't be pitiful and powerful at the same time. And no, you can't. So pick which side of the fence you're comfortable living on. Being pitiful or becoming a powerful woman. And you can always start on one side and work your way to the other. Because, buddy, I've done both. But before I tell you exactly what abuse is, let me tell you what it does. Because we're talking about all these issues here, right, in this little series of podcasts. And thus far, this is probably the worst issue. Because it'll tie you up from the floor up. What abuse does more than any physical damage is it cripples your mind. But here's the good news. You can get your mind back, and you can get your thinking straight. And once you do that, your abuser doesn't stand a chance, not a chance in hell. The door to redemption is wide, and you don't need to be an abuser to need redemption, because I think the abused need redemption too. Now, here's my definition for the word abuse. Abuse is always believing useless, S-H**T, every day. Abuse is always believing useless every day. And the person dealing out the useless is the abuser. And the person who picks it up and believes it, that's the victim. But guess what? All the abused has to do is change what they believe. And they can change who they're going to believe. And if you're ever in a situation where you're really not sure what to believe? Then take my father's advice. Do you want to know what my father said? My father told me, and I have found it to be true, time tells the truth. Think about it. Not a person, not a place, not a thing. Nothing but time always gives us the truth. So if you want to find the truth, you're going to have to look at history, personal history. Things like track records and follow-throughs. And you're going to have to start itemizing successes versus failures and the truth behind the motives. Let's keep it to the facts. Not what you want, not what you need. No, what are the facts? And the other jarring way to kick yourself in reality if you're struggling with the question of whether or not I should get out, think about if you knew a 12-year-old girl who is living the kind of life that you're living right now. Would you want to save her? Why would you want to save her? Why would you want to save her and not yourself? And I think it's because we don't know how to save ourselves. If the abuse is taking place with a 12-year-old girl, say like Frank is abusing her, we know what to do with Frank. You might have one or two ideas going through your head and your mind right now. If I told you I knew that Frank was abusing a 12-year-old girl 2 doors down. But when it's about us, we don't know how to stick up for ourselves. And that's what you've got to do to get out. You've got to do it for the 12-year-old that's still living inside of you, that has never done anything to deserve what you're getting right now. So the first step in changing is just to make a mental plan about getting out. And I hear a lot after usually the first hospital visit that the girl goes back home with him because she loves him. You know what my daughter said? Her exact words were, "But I love him." And my exact words were, "I don't care." And after a thought or two, I spat out, "What difference does that make? And really, does it matter? Great, you had a wonderful love affair. Now get out." Some people say that love is an addiction. It is not. Nor is it cruel or dominant or hurtful. Love is a life force for good. So if it ain't good, it ain't love. You can call it love, but time tells the truth. And if it was happening to somebody else, would it be okay? So let's talk about my definition of what love is. Love is learning omnipotent variations everywhere. That's love. Learning to see the many faces of God everywhere and in everything. If it's not feeling like it's coming from God, then maybe it's not a good thing. I'm just saying. And there are numbers to call. There are people you can tell, and you can get out. First step is making a mental plan. We all know how to make a plan, right? Definition for plan. Plan, prayer, letting Almighty navigate. And by that, you pray to whatever God you believe in, or maybe you once believed in, and then you got to trust the plan. You got to trust that the plan is going to come. And you got to believe that the money is going to come. And the courage is going to come. The first step in getting an escape plan is praying for one. One more thing. Domestic abuse is like alcoholism. Every alcoholic, when they're drinking, thinks that nobody knows how much they drink or that they're an alcoholic. Everybody knows how much they drink, and everybody knows that they're an alcoholic. And let me tell you what, it's usually this same truth with domestic abuse. Every victim living in an abusive home believes that no one knows how bad it is, and that no one knows what really happens. And let me tell you, that's not true. Just so you know. Everybody knows. They just don't know what to say or what to do. Actually, it's easier to talk to a friend about their drinking than it is to talk to a friend about their domestic situation. So if you're thinking of leaving, remembering your life can start when you say so, and you can begin anytime you want. You can prepare for the journey of a lifetime, one little daily adventure at a time. And in a couple of days, I'll be putting out our next in the series of issues, and that's going to be on the issue of poverty. What a wonderful time to be talking about that, huh? Okay, everybody, have a good night. And remember, create your nice day.